What's up, fellas? Welcome back to another episode of Survymon with Survey. In the last video, we covered this test battle thing, and it doesn't look great. We still don't have like fainting or anything. Oh, you guys can't see what I can see. Here we go. Oh, let me redo this. Wild Gasper has appeared, and then we're gonna hit it with a rocker attack. And down he goes. So, we're not going to add anything to our battles yet. Obviously, this is going to take some refining, but right now this is all kind of wrong because this is all just happening on our start screen. We need to move it within our game that already exists, that we have built. So, let's get started right on that. Sorry about that. You couldn't see what I was doing, so I'm just going to redo it. We'll go ahead to our base script here and X all this out. And so now we can come on to battles and put this where it belongs. So let's just do it all the way at the top basically here. Say export function start battle. Alright, and we have all this test stuff up here, test foe and all this. But in reality, you know, we might want to have like a current battle. We have our animation state here, that can stay. Well, let's go to base script, make sure we don't need anything else. Well, first of all this stuff doesn't need to be imported now, so that's good. We need to import the window. We're not using this, but we'll keep it just in case. So let's go battles here, and all this test stuff. Let's just say let current battle is this, alright. Okay, and then we're going to say foe null, or just, you know, we're setting it as undefined for now. Platform, we'll just say -1 to make it an error if we don't change anything. Dialogue, dialogue's a little bit complicated, but we'll just throw it in here as null for now. And then the battle state, we'll say -1. Okay, and then so the menu state we never ended up using. So we have current battle here. So anytime we're going to use test foe, all this test stuff here, we need to replace it with current battle dot. Wild plus. Okay, so the dialogue's kind of generated separately. We won't worry about that because we're going to move around all those lines. So here we'll say current battle dot foe. Test platform, we'll say current battle dot platform. Current battle dot platform. Current battle dot dialogue here. And when we start the battle, we'll set all this stuff. Current battle dot dialogue. Yeah, so just transitioning. Sorry, this is a little bit monotonous here. So none of this stuff needs to be imported. This object will be stored. I don't know if this is the best way to do this. I'm sure you guys could think of a better way. But this is what I'm doing for now. So we can carry this information through all these objects. But only have one. In case we need to import this somewhere else, we only have to import the current battle object. Okay, oh, we have one more test foe right here. Beautiful. So all these tests now are for here. So when we start the battle now, before we even have to build the battle window, I think we can set all this stuff. So instead of let test foe structured clone Gasper, here we'll say foe, and we'll say foe, and then we'll just say current battle foe here. Does that make sense? So now we have to pass in whoever we're starting the battle with, but this is going to change. Let's see, test platform 0, we'll throw that in as a variable as well as the dialogue object. So again, basically just setting all these up. Alright, so all this should work, and then, do we have battle state? Yeah. Also, we didn't change battle state because it didn't have a test thing. So hopefully there's not too many of those, but we just need to add this current battle dot in front of all of them. Yep. Just like that. And should be good. Alright, now this is all fine and dandy, but we need to get into some new stuff, so I'm probably going to add in a little grass patch. I'm not going to do a trainer fight just yet, although we do have NPCs built in, so it wouldn't be too hard. We're going to do a wild encounter, as the title suggests. So let's open this up. See now that we have our original game back. So we have the battle functionality now built in, but no, we have to loop back eventually to the start battle function to get it all show up. So glad we built it all, testing it on the menu and not having to, like, every time we want to start a battle we'd have to run in the grass. But now that we have it working pretty good, at least we can always bring this back out to the menu if we want to test stuff again, if we don't want to deal with it. But my strategy, what's going on here? This is indented wrong. Oops. Huh? There we go. So, okay. First off, let's add in this piece of grass. So this is going to be under, not game setup, but map setup. You can add in a new class for this grass patch. Okay. So, for now, we're going to do a little weird, you know. I think in the regular Pokemon game, like, each square of grass is its own square. Maybe not in the new games. Maybe it is just a path. For now, because of we don't really have a grid set up anyway, we're just going to have a big patch of grass, and then once you're inside it, you'll be able to encounter stuff. We're not going to add too much animation or anything right now, but we'll add some sort of indicator that you're in the grass. Just trying to think of all this stuff as I create the object. So NPC, before map, let's go class grass patch. Constructor, of course, you can kind of steal any of these game objects. Because it has to extend map object. Instead of skin, for now, we're not going to give any variability to the grass. I mean, Pokemon, all the grass kind of looks the same. Maybe in the newer games, it changes based on, like, the habitat or whatever. Obviously, no dialogue either. Let's just add in encounter list. That seems important, right? We'll have to put it in the constructor. So we'll make a new class, kind of like how we did with dialogue, that's built into the NPC class. Let's say class encounter list. Okay, now this list might not need to be a class actually. Let's just say class encounter. Oh, obviously capitalize your classes. What am I doing here? Let's just say encounter as the class. And we'll say constructor, we'll say Servimon, and odds, right? Now the total odds here have to add up to 100%, so that we just have to build in properly ourselves in the encounter list. We could make a class that kind of handles that for us, but for now I'll just do it manually. Our first encounter, let's just set this up super easily and then maybe we'll add some randomness to it. But for the Survimon, we need actually someone from Survimon stats here. Let's import it. And this will probably be handled somewhere else when we're doing the actual game, but for testing purposes I can import this directly here. But again, we'll probably have this all kind of handled in a separate file, if that makes sense. For now we can import Gasper. Is Gasper an export right now? Should be, yeah. Import Gasper. I hate when this doesn't work intuitively for me. What's the problem? There we go. So let's import him from Survimon stats so that we can make our first little encounter here. Let encounter 0. We'll new encounter. Oops. And we'll just say Survimon is Gasper. And the odds are going to be, I'll just say 1. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Because we're going to do a random number generator for the encounter. Okay, and we'll make our first grass patch. Let grass patch 0. Grass patch 0 is new grass patch. Let's make it like, so character is like 5 or 10. I think the character is like 10. So we'll make this like 20 by 20. And we'll try to put it up in the corner. So x of like minus, or x can be like 0, y of 30. Maybe we'll see if that actually shows up. In the encounter list, we'll make a new list and we'll just say encounter 0. And this will work because it adds up. Now we need our grass patch to show up on the map, so we'll copy the logic here for any sort of game object. We'll make a list. We'll say let grass patches, oops, is a blank list. Inside we'll put grass patch 0. It's the only grass patch on the map. To get it to render, we'll come down here. Oh, we gotta come up to the map class and add grass patches. Fun stuff. But it's good to lock this kind of stuff in if you're learning to code because it comes up a lot. But if you guys are still just learning to code, this is probably becoming very crazy to watch. Anyway, let's let GP is going to be map.grasspatches I. I'll say GP here. GoPro. Knock these boys out. Shorten that a little bit. Imager game. We'll just use the same thing here. We'll say grass patch. Okay, we need to now make this image, obviously. So I'm going to hop on to a new tab here, onto pixel art. And we've drawn a lot of grass already, but we're going to have to keep at it. Let's try to draw some taller grass. See if this can show up. Now what's interesting is we might want to have it look kind of like multi-layered, to where our character is kind of behind some grass and in front of other grass. So I think what might be interesting, here's my kind of thought process. First of all, I don't know if we even need a border. Let's try to do it without a border first. I was thinking like, throw some grass down. Basically down here. Fill this in. Add a bunch of texture to it. Don't like those. Wait, let me just speed this up. I can never commentate while drawing. Alright, this looks pretty good for me for like a foreground for us space on the grass thing. Now, I'm gonna add in another layer. Well, first I'll just download this. Oh, I think I kind of have to build it in if I want the character to show up in between. Definitely can't have it as an image. So I'll download this, and then I'll get to work here on making the, well, I kind of just need like I'll have this show up on multi-layers, but then I'll also just have a background of grass, which I can kind of just open up a photo here, go into my images and take this grass texture and work from it. So let's just make it a little bit darker first. Not that much darker. Can I not go back? Yeah, we'll work from this, but again, I'm going to speed it up. Alright, so that's kind of how you make a texture on here. Is like copy paste like that. I think I could add just a little bit more grassiness to the texture if I go really dark of like this green. And just do like a couple little these guys. So you can kind of like copy paste your texture multiple times to get it to really pop. So let's take this bit. Oh, it just looks so checkerboard now. Can we manage to get it semi-speckled in like this? Ah! Art tips from Survey. Yeah, this looks kind of garbage, but still got the little yellow flowers. It's grassy enough, whatever. Looks kind of camo. But for now, this is what we're going for. Hopefully it'll show up good. I'm going to download this as well. Alright, let's think about this back in the code before we program these images in. Since we're making this whole thing, we're gonna, well, it depends on the size of the thing, how many grass patches we're gonna make. So we'll try to make our grass patches all kind of orderly, and then those little grass things can show up on a orderly basis. But if we just do grass patch, so first I'm gonna throw these files where they need to be. Go into images, and this is gonna be grass space, and this one's gonna be grass patch. Where the heck? Oh, sorry, I forgot how to do stuff. So first off, let's just look at what it looks like with the grass patch. This should now work. Oh, you just have to add this. We'll call this grass patches 0. Fire it up. Oh, we put it right where the NPC is. Hilarious. Or did we? Is it based on the display or something? Oh yeah, right here. Grass patch. I was like, that's probably a bug and not a coincidence. Alright, oh, yep, here it is. Oh, it looks like trash, man. It looks like bloody trash. Alright, we'll kind of keep it for now, I guess. We'll see what it looks like when we add the thing. Otherwise, it's just like the way the background image is displaying. I feel like it's pixelating more here and like better. So, oh, it's because I don't have background image. It's just a single image. So, let's copy this line instead. And just like this. Voila. Is that gonna work? Oh, much better. Okay, so it's not perfect, but you can tell it's something different. So we're gonna throw those patches down on the space. So now we're gonna have to do like a little for loop and figure out some logic here. I is less than, basically let's say, all right, let h equal gp dot height, and let's let w equal the width. We're going to come over here and just do w and h. I don't know, for no good reason. It worked fine the other way, but since we're going to use these, let's do I is less than h over 10. And this has to be a round number. So, you know, it has to be 10, 20, or 30 for now. With the logic of this. You know, it's not great, but it's not that bad. Anyway, we'll try to do everything by 10 for the most part anyway. To make stuff square. You know, the same way it is in Pokemon where it's on a tile basis. If you're making some other game, you could do it however you want, but it shouldn't be that hard. Oh, wait. Throw in I++ here. So then we need another for loop. Let q equal 0. Q is less than, let's say, the w over 10. Make that a round number as well, q++. Okay, so this is going to double for loop through. And we're going to say div maker game. Actually, just copy this line, right? So let's go. Grass space plus q or plus, oh, this is already I. So this has to be W. Or no, that's already W. Let's do a different counter variable. I usually use Q, I, and W because I don't use them for other stuff. Let's go J. A lot of people use J instead of I. Okay. So grass space plus I plus J. No, we need to do plus a dot in case there's multiple digits so it doesn't interfere if you have a 0, 1, or a 1, 0. Run into these kind of problems. Plus J plus dot plus plus Q. So this will label every grass space individually so we can make them, you know, do stuff later if we want when we're touching them and stuff. Okay, but instead of just, so these are both going to be 10 every time. And instead of just the Y here, we're going to add, because, yeah, we're going to add plus J times 10 and plus Q times 10 to the X. Does that make sense? Because it's based on the width being 10, so for every space we add, we have to shift it over another 10. Okay, that seems to work. Now if we add an imager to these grass space IJQs, and we slap the image of grass space on it every time, then hopefully get it to show up the way we want. Oh, we got a crash. We got an error. That'll help us discern what we did wrong. Imager is not defined. What? Imager game, because we're on map setup, of course. Ooh, not bad. But we probably don't want imager game. We want it to look all kind of spick and span, right? So let's go back to map setup and just import imager the normal way so it's not sticking off the wrong dimensions. Come on, baby. Ooh, that doesn't look bad, except we're stepping on it. It's going to look even better if we throw like a 2 or 3 z-index on these grass spaces. So we'll take this whole thing, dot style dot z-index. We should probably make our own z-index function. So just type, takes a little bit longer to type this. Index is like 2. We don't want it to be above the menu, but we can kind of shift stuff around. Actually, I could probably do like 1.1. Right? It's just above the player. Alright. Am I? No, it looks like I'm still on top of it. What's going on? Is the player at 2? Oh wait, did I move the background to -1? Wait, I should still be able to play. Height 60. Where's the Z index on this stuff? Oh, this is the room. Background have a Z index? Why the Z index not showing up? Okay, the player has a Z index of 1. And the grass spaces should have an index higher than that. Let's just set it to 2 for now. We'll probably have to move the menus up. We'll see. Test that as well. Sorry, I'm getting a little OCD. My Z indexing. Oh, much better. So this looks a little weird, but you can tell we're going through the grass. So I think I want to add these in a little more often than every 10 because it looks kind of silly. And we'll see how that looks. But the grass looks kind of great. I feel like if it were spread out more, it would look awesome. So maybe we'll do it kind of randomly, and that'll look good. I want to play around with some stuff. Let's see. So for now we're doing it every 10. We could do it every... We could just do it every 1. We'll see how that looks. We'll literally do a 1% here. Not multiply these, or we'll just multiply it by 1 because we're probably going to change it again. Don't want to lose our structure. Ooh, that looks like trash. What the heck? Okay, they're still only showing up vertically or horizontally, so that's why. Yeah, that does not look good at all. Okay, so we'll go back up to like 5. Oh yeah, we should have said over 1 here. Same reason. Change all these to 5s. We can even control H it if we wanted to. Ugh, hate testing stuff like this out. Just want to get it right the first time. Okay, that doesn't look bad, but I feel like I want to maybe change up the design a little bit. In fact, I kind of want it to only be on like 1 corner. So I want to kind of center it and have it show up on one of the corners of each thing, kind of like this. So let's go back into my image. I'm being a bit of a perfectionist for this because it almost looks good. Oh, cool, and it opened right back up. So let's just move this up here to the center. We'll still have it kind of down low, so to speak, like this. So first we'll just see what this looks like if we replace it straight up. Grass space. And we just said yes, replace the file. Alright, so you should be able to just look right on here. Okay, so everything moved up a little bit. So now what I want to do is for each, so this is 4x4 right now. I want it to randomly show up in 2 or 3 of these spots. So, actually, it can just have like it can have like an overall chance to show up as well. Let's say if math.random is less than 0.75. So this is how you throw a random number in. We're going to use it a little bit later in this episode as well, in just a moment. Sorry, I'm so hyper-focused on the visuals of this grass. I'm not trying to test out the functionality yet. Okay. So yeah, this just kind of randomly shows up here. And it's not too bad. Of course, I mean, you shouldn't be like fully underneath it like this. But I don't know what else to really do about it. I can't have it like cover your feet but not your head without making your feet like a different Z index than your head. But that's the whole kind of thing, to make a 2D game look 3D. So for now, this is what it's going to look like. Kind of dumb. But we're running through the grass. Maybe we can make the grass a little smaller, and it might actually work. Let's make it smaller and thicker. Last improvement here. So hopefully this doesn't look too stupid. We're going to distort a little bit. Now we have to open photo. Actually, we can just replace it directly from here. Select all. Alright, sorry I had to cut out because it's doing stuff without showing you. But does that looks a lot better, I feel like. And it looks like we're like making our way through the grass. And every time we refresh now, we're going to get a slightly different pattern. And I want it a little less likely. So let's do... Oh, you guys can't see again. Let's do 0.65. Just slightly less likely, like 2 out of 3. Ooh, I think that looks good. Good by me. Okay. So now when we're running through the grass, it looks pretty cool. Alright, so that's as good as we're gonna get for now. Now we have to actually add in the functionality of this. So how about it should be based on when we move in the grass. So the same way when we try to move, and then we complete our movement on, I believe it's interval. Try and move up, yep. And then can move equals false, blah, blah, blah. If can move right here. And then we move. Right? So let's say actually, we'll make these new functions in case we're doing other movements and stuff. We'll say move player. Oh, function, of course. And we're going to say direction magnitude. You know, it's basically a vector going in here. And so the direction is going to be, we'll just say 0 for horizontal, 1 for vertical. And the magnitude is obviously here. So we'll just say player position. Oh, if direction is 0, then, and we could just say horizontal as like a boolean to really minimize the data usage, but it's not that important to me. We'll say if direction equals 0, player position dot x plus equals magnitude. And it's not really magnitude, it should just be direction and value, or amount. Okay, and then we'll say else if direction is 1. We'll move him into y. And we can still put negative amounts in here, so this should all work out. We'll just say move player 1, 0.5. Alright, we'll try and throw these in for all the tries. Try move left. And we should keep all these closed. Oops, this was x minus. So 0 and minus. Oops. That would also work. 0 minus 0.5. Alright, and same thing here. That's just going to be minus. And here. But it will be 0. Okay. Oops. Close all these up because they're getting in my face. I don't like looking at the same block of code over and over again. Alright, so now if we did move, we don't have to deal in that other function anymore. Oh, this should be amount. Apologies. And then we're going to, so once we have moved now, if inside grass, if, and then we'll import the grass. So, okay, we need this inside grass function. We could check it in the interval because we're doing try, interact, and try, move, and stuff in here. We'll keep it in here for now. We're going to move all this weird movement stuff to its own file. Again, we need to do a kind of compartmentalization of this at some point. But let's say function inside grass. We'll say let inside grass equals inside grass. So basically here, we're going to pass in the index of the grass that you're inside. This is what this is going to return. So let's return grass index. We'll say let grass index is -1. And then we're going to say if grass index is greater than -1 here. Okay? And it's going to check through all of them. Let is 0 is less than current dot grass patches. Oops. Dot length I plus plus. And we already have an inside function under, is it useful? No, that's just show, find, and save from. I think it's under physics. Yeah, so we have inside. And we could use this. This is to say you're inside a room. But another way we could do is if you're halfway point. So we're going to kind of copy this whole inside logic and say inside. Just say inside 0 for now. I know it's a lazy name, but inside object, outside object. We're going to edgeify everything. Okay? But for the edges now, instead, the inner edges are basically going to be a different edgification that's just going to basically be the center. So if your center is inside, then you're inside that grass. We could also do that you're fully inside, but I think if you're touching the grass at all, if you're halfway in, your center's in there. Okay, so we'll do center. Centers. We don't need this to be an export function. Centers object. Let center x equal object dot x plus object dot height over 2. Same for the y. But we'll go, oops, this should have been width. There we go. And we will return. So for centers, we're going to return, what are we returning with edgeify? It's like a weird new type of object. Yeah, edges here. Left, bottom, right, top. Okay. And so really we can just say return new edges. Left is going to be center x. The bottom is going to be center y. And same with the right and the top. It's just, you know, it's basically an infinitesimally small point, and its edges are the same for the top and the bottom. Okay. I think this will work now. Finding for inside or not. So that was some quick logic. Always love that. Now we need to go back to interval. And inside grass, we'll check if inside 0, oops, we'll say let GP equal current grass patches I, and if your player position, and I believe that's the logic, right? For inside 0, the inside object is the player position, and the outside object is GP. Then we will say grass index is I. Finally, we'll go to here, and we'll say if you flagged that you're inside one of the grass patches, if math, oops, every time you move, if math.random, for now we'll just do a random rate. I think Pokemon does it like that, but you could set the rate of encounter of the grass based on that individual grass patch super easily. You just add it to that class. But for now, if math.random is less than, we'll say 0.1, so every 10 times, because you're really moving around a lot, 60 frames per second. So this should happen kind of every time. For now, we're going to say start random encounter. And again, we're going to use inside grass for the index that we're passing in. Okay, and oops, why is this spelling something wrong here? Why does it say we're not using this function? Oh, we can't really probably use the same type of word here. Let grass index, yeah, that makes more sense anyway. Grass index is greater than -1. There we go. Okay. Inside 0 is not defined. We're going to pass it in from physics. And make sure physics is updated. Now, we got to make this function here that starts the random encounter. Okay. Start random encounter, grass index. Oops. So function. So this is going to be kind of the format for a lot of stuff. You use functions where you're passing in like the index of that item in that current list of stuff to interact with different objects on the screen. Same way we talk to an NPC. In any case, start random encounter, grass index, let's say. For now, we're just going to show grass index to make sure all this is working, because we're getting a little bit in the weeds here, coding too much at once. Got an instant error. Could not... oh, it's up here. Identify a move player has already been declared. What? On interval. Try to move right. Oh, this is move player. Silly me. Say move confirm. And I gotta replace all these ones. My apologies. Forgot that I already had that function. And should have caught myself in the moment. Excuse me. Alright, in any case, this should work. Let's see if we have any other issues. Save it up. Oh, ooh. So it looks like it's lagging. Okay, so there's another error. Can't read properties of undefined reading length. Inside grass 174 in interval. Current.grass_patches.length. There's not a current.grass_patches. Oh. Current map. Current.map.grass_patches. Oh. My bad. Oops. Where is that? Oh, sorry, I'm getting a little tired, guys. We're almost done with what we came here for. So, okay, we got our grass. And it should be showing, yep. Should be showing 0 every once in a while. See? All these times it shows 0, we'd be getting a random encounter. Alright, so what are we going to do when we start the random encounter? Let's do it under battles. And we'll say... oh yeah, we'll keep it on interval. We'll do start random encounter. So we need to pull out the... let GP equal current dot map dot grass patches grass index. So now I have the right grass patch. Okay, so now we have to say let Servimon. Ooh, we kind of have to go through the list here. Okay, so let thresholds, trust me here, is this list, okay? For let I is 0, I is less than I is less than thresholds dot length, or no, sorry, I is less than GP dot, and we should probably just pull this out as well. Let EL equal GP dot encounter list. Counter list. So threshold is blank for less than 0. EL dot length. I plus plus. So we're gonna go through the encounter list here, and we're gonna say thresholds dot push. Okay, so we have to have let total equal 1. Thresholds dot push. It's gonna be 1 minus the, so we'll get the encounter list. Let encounter is ELI. The odds for this one, what do we call that? Down here in the map setup. Yes. Servimon and odds. Oh, we never did it here. This dot Servimon equals Servimon. This dot odds is odds. So normally we'd have like a 0.5 and a 0.5. So you'd basically want to add, you have to add one less. So if we only have one encounter here, we're not going to push anything into the list. So it really should be length minus 1. Actually, we'll do, yeah, length minus 1. But first, we'll put 1 into the list. Okay? And then we'll say thresholds dot push 1 minus enc dot odds. Okay, so imagine if we had a 0.5 and a 0.5. We would have 1 in here, and then it would push in a 0.5, and then it would be over. So it's not checking everything. So it has to rely on that. And so then, oh, we don't really need 1 in the thresholds here. So it's only going to push 0 into this list, because 1 minus the odds. All right? So if you had a 0.5 and a 0.5, it would push in just 1.5 into that list. And so you would know if you're on either end of the threshold. If you had a 0.5, a 0.2, and a 0.3, it would push in a 0.5, and then would push in a 0.7. So what we need to do also here is take the total and use total instead of 1 here. Total minus enc dot odds. Okay, so now if we have a 0.5 for the first one, it's not going to do anything. And then we have a, wait, if we have a 0.5 for the first one, then it should probably do something. So maybe we'll go through all of them. Say we have a 0.5 for the first one. It's going to push in 0.5 here. It's going to take the total down to 0.5. Then it's a 0.3. So it pushes a 0.2 into here. And then you know the last one. So it should be minus 1. The last one shouldn't be included, because you know it's 0.5, and then it has to be less than 0.3. Otherwise it works. Okay? So now that we have our thresholds, so we'll say let rand equal math.random. And then we'll say if rand is less, oh, well, I have to kind of loop through the thresholds here. Let I is 0, I is less than thresholds dot length. I plus plus. If rand is less than thresholds I, or if it's greater than say you capture which which index it is. So let encounter index is -1. And we're going to go through here, and if you're greater than any of the thresholds, we're going to say encounter index here is I. Boom. So this should work. Let's say you have a 0.5 and a 0.3, and then you'd have to have a 0.2. You'd get 0.5 and 0.2 in your thresholds. So if you're greater than 0.5, you get the first index, which is what you want, and you have a 50% chance there. But if you're not, then you have to be greater than 0.2, and you have a 30% chance to be in that range. You'll get the second index. And here we'll say if it's still -1 because you're not greater than any of the thresholds, if encounter index equals -1, we'll save it, and we'll say encounter index equals thresholds dot length, right? Because if there's only 2 thresholds, because there's 3 encounters, it'll be index 2, which is the third one. Okay, I think this should be good. Obviously, this is all going to work out easily. When all we have is the 0, it's going to have a 100% chance at that threshold. In fact, it won't even add anything. Wait, will it not add anything to the list? Oh yeah, and it'll become 0 right here. So it'll fix itself right there. I think this logic works. Correct me if you see something that's wrong. I don't think we need commas here. Sorry about that. And voila, now that we have our encounter picked out on, we're still on map setup, our interval. So we have our encounter index picked out. So let servy let encountermon is going to be GP, or it's going to be EL I dot servymon, or EL encounter index dot servymon. Okay, and the encountermon we're gonna pass into the start battle. So we're gonna import that from battles. Export function start battle. Import it here. Don't have any imports from battles. Start battle from battles.js. And what do we need to start a battle? We need the platform as well as the dialogue. So for now, we're just gonna put the platform, bake it into the actual grass patch here. So let's say counter list and platform. Because we can actually set the battle platform directly from this, and that makes sense because you could have a grass patch, or you know, you could have a cave patch that totally is a different platform. We'll say 0 here. So that's baked in. Now we can go on to interval. We'll say, where are we? Start battle. You tell me I need faux, platform, and dialogue. Okay, so we'll go faux is encountermon, because it's going to make a copy of that. Platform is going to be gp.platform now. And finally, do we capitalize that? Yeah, why did we capitalize platform? I don't know why. Just remembered in my brain. Very stupid. And then finally, we need the, why do I have to keep jumping around and forgetting? Dialogue. And these, sorry, I forgot to actually set. I was like, why aren't we using this? This would be so broken. All right, now go to interval. And we'll just say, we'll make some stock dialogue the same way we had it before. I forget what it was called. In fact, hopefully I can grab it from here. Not messing too much stuff up. We're going back in time. I don't remember exactly how I did it, and I'm too lazy. Just make sure, yep. We'll copy this, and then we'll start Control-Shift-Zing everything back to normal. There we go. Alright, a little tip for you guys. And we'll keep this test dialogue thing here. And we'll say encountermon.name. Okay, because that's fine. It's going to make a copy anyway. Okay, I think this should work for getting us into a battle. I'm sure there's going to be an error or two. Yep, sounds like something went wrong. Dialogue is not defined. Okay. What's going on? Oh, we don't have the dialogue class. So we actually have to import dialogue from where? Where? Okay. There we go. Oh, no, you don't need Gasper in battles anymore? Wait, where are we making Gasper? I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, we made them under map setup. Okay, so we'll come back to interval. Oh, you guys. Almost done. So, delete this out. And come on. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, let's go. Okay, clearly we're having a z-index problem. That's all. Let's go into our battles. Do we not even have any errors here? Oh, beautiful. I am impressed. Let's go into our battles and build battle window. We will, do we even give this a z-index? No, not really. Find battle window. Z-index equals 2 or 3, honestly. So we're able to keep running around, and that's wrong. When we build this window, yeah, so first of all, current.battlestate is 0. It should be current dot, and we now have to import current from interval. That's fine though. Or we could just do it when we start the battle over here, because we already have current. Start battle, say current dot game state equals, what are our game states? Running, talking. Well, we don't need it to be anything, so we'll just say battling. Alright. And you know, this is all we're gonna get to for now, I think. And why is the z-index still all messed up? Battle window z-index should be 3 now. What went wrong? On battle window dot style dot z-index. Oh, yep, there, our game is paused. No errors. Well, when we refresh at least, no errors. Yay. So we don't have an animation for our window popping up yet. We don't have anything crazy. What I do want to do though, is go to map setup, because this is a wild encounter. And I want to show off the fact that we can have different Pokemon. So let me draw one Pokemon real quick. It's going to be a fake test stupid Pokemon. In fact, we can use this art for any fake test stupid thing we're trying to do. It'll be fun. Oops. Hello? Why is it not? Why can you not see? I hate this. I hate when you can't see stuff. There it goes. Oh, nope, it went away. There it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a piece of poop with a face on it. Let's see if I can get my lines going good. So when drawing a piece of spiral poop, which is the common style of poop, you want to make one side very loby and one side very sharp. This is kind of disappearing into this side. And then what you can actually do is just take your first layer of said poop and shrink it down. Oh, we'll fill in the gaps, but that's a good reference point, maybe. No, I guess we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. So again, just kind of try to replicate the same shape, but a little bit smaller, like the top of a cupcake, you know. And we gotta get the lobe going here. And we gotta get the sharpness going here. Oh, just a couple pixels up. There we go. Can be a little lumpy and sad looking. And we definitely need to go a little more in on this one. Go a little bit lumpier over here, you know, make it unique. Let me speed up the rest of this drawing. Gotta have that little wisp on top, select the perfect shade of brown. Vary it slightly with each layer. Oops, I didn't vary that one. I was like, huh? Oops, I didn't vary it again. Huh? I feel like it should get darker as we go up, though. Maybe. I need some darker browns in there. What are we doing? Poopmon. Real nice and dark. Okay, something like that. So that's our pile of turd. Oh, let's make it like a little bit shiny on one end. Oh, you guys are like, what am I watching right now? Smut. It's a little bit shiny. Throw some weird colors in there. I don't know. All right, now it's just getting bad. It's getting inappropriate and gross. All right, anyway, I'm gonna put eyes on it. Let's make a new layer. And just throw some absolute Disney Channel looking eyes on there. Boop. Boop. Funny looking Poopmon. Okay, so we'll use Poopmon here as just a third encounter. I want to test what I was talking about with the odds. We're going to make Poopmon the rare one, okay? He's so cute, I know. It's like an NFT. So this is like the equivalent of a Grimer, I guess. So, you know, it's like a creature, but it's made of shit. Alright, so we're going to throw this into our game here. Under Servimon stats. Let's make... Same way we have moves for Rockmon and stats for Gasper here. And everything. Gasper's move, we'll say that poo equal poo poison type move, right? 10 power, 10 PP, why not? S stats Turdmon and moves Turdmon. Oops. You guys don't steal my ideas for new Pokemon. Poo. Blank move, sure, I don't care. I'm just trying to get this into the game. Let Turdmon. This new Servimon. Turdmon. 0 stats. Turdmon. And oops, we have a G here. Turdmon. Wonderful. So this will be someone we can export in. So when we go over to map setup and have our grass, we need to import all of our Servimon, Gasper, Rockmon, and Turdmon now from Servimon stats. Let's come over here and for our encounter list, let's add 2 new encounters. Encounter 1 and encounter 2. We need the odds of this one to be 0.6. This one's going to be 0.3. And this one's going to be 0.1. So they add up to 1 still. Okay. But this one's going to be Rockmon. And this one is going to be Turdmon. Okay. And then we'll add these into the encounter list here. So I think with the logic I wrote, we should be able to add encounter, luck, and RNG into our game the first time. Of course, looks like the game went away again. Everything's going away. There we go. So start a battle. A wild Turdmon has appeared. Oh, we don't have an image for Turdmon yet because we still have pixel framed. We never put it in. Oh, my bad. Turdmon into images. Should fix it up right away, but I think it's gonna refresh the whole game. Yeah. Oh well, Turdmon appeared, so clearly there's something wrong with our odds. There's no way we're getting. Well, Turdmon appeared. Unfortunately, we're getting Turdmon every time. So what's the problem? There's no console issues. What we should be getting. Let's go ahead and show our thresholds when we start here to see if that's working out first of all. Sorry about the bugs. It should be under interval actually, because it's start random encounter here. So we'll start bug fixing this. We'll do it together. We don't usually bug fix together, but that's okay. So after we're adding to the thresholds, we'll say show thresholds. Okay. So we have an array of 2. We get a 0.4 and a 0.7. It shouldn't be 0.7. It should be 0.4 for 0. And it should be total minus equals. Oh, here we go. Total minus equals anc.odds. So that when it subtracts the total again, now encounter index should be 0. So I'm kind of confused. Let's run this again, showing the thresholds again. See if we get Turdmon again. Oh, did that fix it? So I want to show thresholds. Yeah, 0.103. That makes sense. So let's also show the random number that we're generating to make sure this is working properly. Show rand. Alright, we got a Rockmon now, but now it seems like it's Rockmon every time. Yeah, this should have been greater than 0.4. And so now I want to show the encounter index to see if that's accurate. So let's add another thing here. I should get 0 for the encounter index, which should bring up not Rockmon. So encountermon, we'll say show encounter index. So expect it, yeah, to be Gasper most of the time. So 0.7, yep, and we're getting 1 for the index. So that's not true because it's greater than 0.4. So what's the problem? Let's look at the logic here. We're going through for i's 0, i's less than thresholds dot length, I plus plus. If rand is greater than thresholds I, so if it's greater than the first threshold, encounter index equals I. Huh? So, oh, I see the problem. It should be, this loop should be over here, so let checking, we could do like a while loop or whatever, but we'll just say let checking equal true if this and checking, and if we already got it, then checking is false. Okay. Maybe a for loop isn't the best logic here, but this makes sense. It'll stop searching the loop. So that makes sense. It was greater than the first one. It's also greater than the second one. Yep, now we get a Gasper. Now we get a Gasper again. Should be getting a Gasper most of the time, but still have a chance to get a Rockmon. And if we're super lucky, we have no way to run from the fight. So we're just having to restart. Got a Rockmon. Got a Gasper. Can we do it? Got a Gasper. Got a Rockmon. Can we get Turdmon to show up? We have to get pretty lucky. It's 10%. Maybe I shouldn't have made it so lucky. Turdmon. Turdmon. Oh. We have an error here. We don't have an error? Huh? Oh, it showed up twice at once? It didn't pause the game fast enough? This seems like an issue. Now it's happening every time? Gasper appeared. Oh. Okay, well I'm gonna have to sort out that issue. So that's just all kinds of fun. Okay, we got 0.21. I'm just checking to see here if we get less than 0.1 but still don't get Turdmon. Or if we're just getting unlucky and not getting less than 0.1. It looks like so far we haven't gotten it at 0.8. The math random could be anything from 0 to 1. 0.69. Come on, give me Turdmon. Feels like I'm playing the real game. Ah, so close. 0.14. Yeah, 0.03 and we got Turdmon. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in business. I think we're really proving how easy this is. Another hour, another major step. Well, this one went a little over an hour, so I apologize. But we can't actually run yet. We get unexpected token, but we can put that in pretty easily. Maybe we'll do that next time. But we'll keep working. Appreciate everybody watching that watched so far, all the way through. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Oh, we got another turd. Yep, and it's accurate. So lucky. We'll get shinies in the game soon. Just you wait. This is so much fun. Subscribe for more. And have a good day.